Hey, welcome back to This is 40. I wanted to go over 3 unexpected struggles of middle-aged life that no one warned me about. Before kids, marriage, just getting old, I thought I had a pretty good grasp on things and had it all figured out. But now at my age, 40 something, I can't pick a show without falling asleep 17 times in the span of 3.5 minutes. Here are 3 struggles that I'm experiencing in my 40s. All right, so picking a TV show, a movie, a series, it's just not the same as it was. So after you've had a long day, you're tired, you finally get to bed, you want to put something on, veg out, and you go to Netflix, you start scrolling, you go through the dramas, and you're just like, just not in the mood for this. Then you move on to the thrillers, and you're just like, too serious, this is just too serious. How about documentaries? Then you get to the documentaries, you start scrolling, you find one, I throw it out to my wife, like, what about this one? And she'll ask me, like, what's it about? And I'm like, money laundering. And she's like, no, I don't want to watch that. All right. What about this one? What's it about? Kids murdering their parents. Yes, so much yes. I'm like looking at her like, what the hell is wrong with you? So, all right. So we start to watch it. I wake up because I'm snoring. I just woke myself up. Look over. Wife is out. I'm like, I'll just rewind it. I'll rewind it to when I last started. Only a few moments. Rewind. 45 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I fell asleep for 45 minutes. And then I do that like 4 to 5 times to finally go to bed. It's just not the same as it was. Nobody warned me about this. So things are different at this age. So socializing with your peers looks a lot different at this stage in your life. When you're younger, you would do crazy stuff, right? You'd go do an adventure and it'd be like, oh my gosh, you guys will never believe what happened. We went to this concert. We got backstage. We had so much fun. We've been partying for days. We just got back. And then your friend's like, oh, no way. Like, where'd you go? It's like, oh my God, dude, we went out to the desert. It was crazy. We haven't even slept. And your friend's like, wait, what? You've been up since Thursday? And you're like, yeah. Now the thought of that's like crazy, right? So now when you have conversations with your friends, it's like you go through like the gauntlet of all the commonalities you have with your kids. So your conversation is like, oh my gosh, my kid, they'll only eat mac and cheese. And your friend is like, yes, oh my God, my kid does too. They only eat mac and cheese. And like at the same time, you guys will be like, Kraft, yes, Kraft, I love Kraft. Oh my God, that's all my kids eat, right? Or it's something else like super arbitrary where it's like you're like wearing a sweater one day and then your friend like notices like, hey, that's like a nice sweater. You're like, oh, this one? Thanks. You're like, thanks. Yeah, I got it at Costco. And your friend's like, Costco? No way. Wow, Costco makes like great things. Like, yeah, I love Costco. They have like really good vendors, Oh my God. Yes, the best vendors, right? Like so good. Yes, the best vendors. They just make such good vendors. And, that's a really nice, that's a nice hoodie. It's like really good style for Costco. Oh my God, it's a good style. And then you're like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, pretty good. And then like later when you're at a stoplight, you're thinking about just whatever your day and you like look down at your sweater and you like rub it. You're like, this is really nice fabric. It's just totally different from when you were younger to where you're at now. Everything's changed. The struggle is real. So when you realize that something is older than you think, like for example, I'll be at the gym and I'll hear a song come over the stereo and it's like, I came in like a wrecking ball. And then I'll sit there and be like, who's saying this? It's that one girl. It's that, God, what is her name? You're thinking to yourself, what is her name? Like 6.5 minutes later, I finally realized it's Miley Cyrus. And then you think, you're like, oh, that song came out like a few years ago. And then you look it up and it's like, that song came out in 2013. You're like, what? Are you kidding me? Or the other thing I can think of, the other time I like everyone had this realization was it was a Super Bowl performance, and it was Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, and we're all watching it. Like they're performing still by Dr. Dre, and you're looking at them and you're like, God, they look so old. And everyone's like in agreement, like, yeah, they look really old. Like, yeah, they look, gosh, Eminem, like they look really old. And then you realize, like, wait a second, we were listening to this when we were like teenagers. And then you look at the year on Google search or something, and it's 1999. You're like, oh my God, like mind blown. That happens so much at this stage in my life, where I'll think like a song came out a couple years ago and it's been like 20 years. The struggle is real. It's wild getting old, and time flies by. And before you know it, in a blink of an eye, years have gone by, decades have gone by. What are some things that you've gone through where you've realized the same thing? Or can you relate to what I'm saying? Did I miss anything? Comment in below. Leave a comment, and I'd love to hear from you. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Again, thank you for all your support. Peace out. Have a great week.